I should smile, I guess, but but last night I didn't feel like smiling. Actually, a lot of the day yesterday I didn't feel like smiling. The title for today's video is Did Caleb, OPPT trustee, have a gun to his head? Those who are listening to the Freedom Reigns podcast with Lisa Harrison and crew, which for me was last night, know what the question means. Caleb, one of only 3 OPPT trustees, took the energy surrounding the One People's Public Trust and put a pin in it. The rapid deflation was palpable. Perhaps he gave everyone a clue as to what may have been going on with him when he revealed that he had been threatened. I gotta add a letter that I forgot, and I read it a few times and didn't see it till now. Frankly, I hated what he was saying. And so did most, if not all, of the panel of hosts. They somewhat recovered before the program ended. However, the damage had been done. My question, which I asked in the live Facebook thread on my wall, was whether or not he had a gun to his head. If he didn't, it was plain that he does not have the heart of a servant, as Heather and many of us do. For myself, I know I will never be free on earth in a physical body until all my brothers and sisters are free too. Freedom, for me, equals the ability to feel safe as a physical being. I've been awake for almost 3 hours and out of bed since 3 o'clock, right on the button I got up. And I did sleep pretty well, even after the pin prick that was heard round the world as the OPPT balloon was burst, when one of its very founders, one of its trustees, said, "I don't believe in the CVAX, and I'm not here to be the savior of the world. And if people want me to do it for them, then I'm going to create an empire because I deserve to get paid for what I'm doing." There were lots of statements Caleb made that were very dissonant to my heart. And I've had to explore today my heart. And more importantly, maybe, not more importantly, but equally my thoughts, my head. Because since the week before Christmas, when once again the threat of stealing my home was placed before me, and more recently last Friday when the lady that volunteered to help me save my house told me that they would be willing to take me out at gunpoint if need be, that I signed the loan and I had better pay it because I owe it. And this is somebody that I thought was in OPPT. But Caleb was one of the founders of OPPT. So what he did last night was even more earth-shattering. My whole life has been built around creating heaven on earth. I mean, since I was a teenager. My vision of what that means has changed over the years. But nevertheless, my longing has been to see the kingdom of heaven, or peace on earth, be the absolute truth. So that people living in physical bodies could live in an environment of love, which is an environment of safety, and not be constantly bombarded with fear, as we have been in our world. I have seen it as my role to encourage people to see the vision of a renaissance and peace on earth and prosperity for everybody. I've tried to get that across, and that's why I do my daily videos. It's why it's where I've committed my life. And quite frankly, the thing that's enabled me to do that is the fact that I have a home that I don't have to pay for. That was left to me by Dr. Mary, who also had a spiritual vision that we talked about many times, although mine went beyond where hers was because of the generation difference, perhaps. But nevertheless, we had a very similar vision of seeing a world of peace, seeing a world where we could have prosperity for everybody. We saw that, and it's been my goal, aspiration, purpose, mission, ministry, whatever you want to call it, to help create that. That's why I do what I do. And Dr. Mary made it possible because she loved me. She saw who I was. Even when I was down on myself, she would always lift me up. And by the way, 2 days ago was exactly 30 years since I moved to Florida. It was March the 10th, 1983, that I moved to Florida. And I met Dr. Mary in 1995, and we became very good friends by the time she left this world. I mean, she often called me the son she never had. And I felt like she was my non-judgmental mom. And so for me to have my house threatened that she left me, which is also a center for spiritual development, would be like killing me. And so I understand if Caleb had a gun to his head, whether figuratively or literally, I could understand a little bit where he's coming from. But his arrogance revealed that he doesn't have the heart of a servant. The servant was portrayed by Jesus, who said, if the 99 are safe, but one sheep has gone astray, one sheep is in danger, I will go after the one sheep to rescue the one sheep. And you say, but we don't need a savior. We don't need a savior. It's us. It's us. It's us. Yes, it's us. And what stands in the way is we have created a system through our own ignorance and denial. Denial is the big one. Ignorance, of course, is there, but there's a lot of people that aren't ignorant, but are in denial. So denial is the big one that helped create the world that we live in, where we have to be afraid that somebody's going to take us out for being peaceful, for telling the truth, for speaking up, for exercising our God-given right of expression and travel and other things. And this is the world we find ourselves in. So when Caleb comes on last night because they couldn't get Heather, because her calls were breaking up and they couldn't reconnect with Heather. I mean, Heather resonates with my heart. I mean, what she says resonates with me from the very beginning. OPPT resonated with me as it did many of you from the very beginning. And here we have one of the trustees saying, I don't believe in CVACs, which is Creators Value Asset Centers. Although I had somebody else suggest another A word, but it is asset centers. We need to be able to tangibly use those assets. And we won't be able to do that, as I said in yesterday's video, until they are funded. I was with RUSA for almost 2 years. And I still am close friends with people that are in RUSA. The reason it never did what they promised is because it was never funded. The OPPT could be another pipe dream along that same line. I didn't think it was because Heather portrayed the OPPT as people of the heart, as people of love, that people that were willing to be bondservants to help others become free. Well, Caleb obviously isn't in that category. Or at least he did not appear that way last night. Now, I don't know the extraneous circumstances. I do know what it's like to be threatened. And it doesn't feel good. Much of my day yesterday, actually, I was feeling a lot of fear. Even more so in the afternoon, when I finished doing the work that I was busy with, as I am every Monday, getting the Metagroup's weekend events page completed and updating my calendar of events. I would have given anything yesterday to have a lover to cuddle with and just, I would have given anything just to have a lover here with me yesterday. Because at some points I really, really felt down. I've had people tell me over the past few days that I'm in danger because of standing up to the system regarding my house. That the police are trained and will not hesitate to use violence and force against me. So I know what it's like to feel like I have a gun to my head. Even if it's not true, I know there's truth in it because it happened less than a year ago. And I stood in my rights. I says, no, you have to have a warrant. You have to have a warrant. He didn't have a warrant. He came into my home and I did not give my consent. I wouldn't have even opened the door had I seen him at the door. But he used deception. And this is what they do. It's real. And as long as I'm feeling the fear, I know that other people are feeling the fear too. I think of the people in Gaza. I think of the people throughout the Middle East, that the tyranny of the United States and NATO are inflicting horrendous damage, not to mention, of course, the Zionist nation of Israel, which is the thorn in the side of the whole world. We have to address these problems. And to bring balance, we have to fund the positive side. The negative side has been well funded and well armed. We need to have equal power to at the very least, level the playing field and build a bridge so that love can be at least an equal standing with the fear. But that's not yet the world we live in. I keep waiting and I keep asking, God, awaken in me the gifts and the talents and abilities that are in me, that I know they're there. And sometimes I can feel them and perceive them at various levels of my perception. I know they're there, but I don't know how to use them in a 3D world. And what good are they if I can't stand against somebody that's coming after me and neutralize the enemy? And I don't know how to do that. And so the OPPT gave me hope that we're finally going to bring this beast to its knees and get it to act like a human being. Because it has God in the beast too. There's nothing created that God didn't create, ultimately. Nothing created. Nothing's made that wasn't made by the Christ or the divine energy. It's in everything. And I know that. But how do we translate that knowing into peace on earth? And people say, Ron, you won't experience peace on earth till you can experience it in your heart. Well, I don't want to experience it in my heart if my brothers and sisters aren't also experiencing it in their heart. Because as long as one person on this planet is living in fear, it creates a fearful potential for everybody else. Everybody else. We have to move into love, but I don't know how to do that. It's not by a process of denial. I'm absolutely convinced of that. It's not by turning our head. It's not by switching the channel. It has to do with integrating something. I don't know how to do that. I've been working on it my whole life. I don't know how to do it. Because when there's a threat, when there's a gun to my head, literal or imagined, it doesn't even matter. It creates tremendous anxiety in me. And I know I'm not at peace when I'm in that space. And everything that I do is distorted because I have a distorted perception that's going on inside of me. And this is what I'm crying out. I'm crying out. God, help us. Yes, we need a Savior. Yes, it's got to work inside of us. It's not just an external thing. Yes, I get that. But it can't just be something that we imagine is inside, even if it feels real, if it doesn't also manifest outside. The inner and the outer have to be integrated so that they are one world, not two worlds diametrically opposed to each other. We've got to get beyond the opposition, beyond the polarization, to the integration, to the love. And Caleb provided a lot of contrast last night, and I don't know what the motive was. He was not in the same energy. I've never felt that energy around the OPPT like I did last night. And I listened to Caleb not very long ago, and he didn't sound like that in the last interview. I only heard him once before, and I did not feel any dissonance at all. Last night, all I felt in the first part of the program was dissonance. And I felt it throughout. I felt it in the hosts as they were trying to reconcile what was happening with what Heather told them was going to be happening and what they expected the program to be about. So anyway, I leave these thoughts with you this morning and these observations, and the can is open. We've got to look at what's inside, and somehow we have to connect with that part of ourselves that's able to transform, empower, and enrich us to create the world together that will truly be a win-win situation for every soul on the planet. Thank you for listening. Namaste.